Yesterday, a friend invited me to her house. Well, her grandparents' house in the south of France. And, well, first of all, if you guys didn't know about the south of France, it's where either agriculturists and farmers live. So, not a lot of money. Like, just, you know, how to say it, middle class people, or extremely freaking crazy rich people from everywhere in the world. Because well, that's where people buy their house, like vacation houses. They would never stay there, but they would buy a property there. They live it or they rent it to people. Brad Pitt actually lived in her countryside. So basically, it sounds super cool already. Like it would be such a cool opportunity to just visit the south of France, traveling stuff. But most importantly, culturally speaking, it'll be my first time ever visiting a French friend's house. And I feel like it's an honor already just to be invited because if you guys also didn't know, French people are more like they would be more reserved, especially when it's about like personal life. Like I feel like houses is something that only accessible by like two close friends, and just like in video games, once you got this milestone of getting invited to their house, oh my god, you unlock so many new interactions and new milestones and just new potential rewards, okay? And yeah, now my potential rewards is visiting her house. Super cool house. I don't care if it's like a big house or whatever. No, that's not what I'm trying to say at all. What I'm trying to say is being invited by a friend is such an honor already. But then to be able to discover everything about French culture, which is, as I said, only accessible when you get close to someone. So hard and rare. And so it comes to this like story, and also I came to this realization of a, of my interaction, like after so many interactions that I've been having in my university, is that yeah, networking is really not just like vertical, it's horizontal. Like you network around you from people of the same level. You talk to everyone. It's not just like network like, oh yeah, you have to find cool people to network. You have to talk to people older than you, senior level stuff. No, you don't need that. Well, opportunities everywhere, and just thanks to talking to so many people recently, um I got to know even like doctors, like no, well, PhD candidates from India, and they're helping me to find like exchange program in India. And just so there's just so many cool things just by being curious and being open. And but one thing though that I have to talk about is after I just sit down and think of my experience, it is definitely not something that all of foreign students or international students like face. All of the things that I have right now is totally because of my privileges. Because first of all, I speak good French. That is like an essential things to be able to talk to French friends. I know it sounds obvious, but a lot of people have been here living for a long time already, and they still can't speak French like fluently or confidently yet. And it's totally not and it's not entirely their fault, because it has a lot of story behind that as well. For example, for my part, I was able to learn French because my dad put me in French school when I was only 12. And then he put a lot of huge ton of money for me to get like good professors. Or me as well, I have a lot of time to learn French. Yes, one part because I was hardworking, but also because I didn't have to have student job. I didn't have to work every day. So once I got home, I would still have a little energy left to learn French. There's a lot of hidden privileges that people don't talk about in uni life. And it brings me to this one article that my friend Alice wrote, like Oxford and the hidden fees. Is about how everyone got the same situation. Everyone got in Oxford, but not everyone get the same experience in Oxford, because there's always like opportunities or hangouts like the ball, or like getting a coffee, simply going to a restaurant, or traveling together. All of these things are so many small things that are things that give you, like insights or cool revelations about somebody's life, but only accessible through a financial barrier or so many other barriers as well. For example, I don't think that my French friends do this, but obviously I still think that everyone does this, but subconsciously, which is like people would only hang out with people with the same level of attractiveness or the same level of, I don't know, well, so many things like personality or socio-economic level, or just in general people search for the same tribe. Like they want to find a tribe, and well, I feel like it's the same for me as well. Obviously, if someone doesn't have the same vibes as me, I wouldn't hang out with them. Well, it's logic, right? But yeah, just thinking of this, all of this are new opportunities that I just get. It just make me realize how much like privilege I got. Like I got it, and I got a lot. For example, literally just 5 minutes ago, my one of my French friends, like we have a common friend, okay? It's like a group of three, and Nathan, he just told me that he can't afford to go to the south of France with us because, well, he didn't have the money for a ticket. And I was just like, yeah, I totally understand this. Like as a friend, I have no problem with that. I understand. I mean, is there anything that I can help? But of course he would say no if I try to help him pay it. I would have said no too. But the point here is, see, it's the exact thing that I have said, and as Alice in her Oxford hidden fees article have said, there is just so many hidden fees to friendships, to networking, to opportunities, to having a fun experiences in universities. And not a lot of people talk about that. And honestly, I was like that too last year, I would say. But yeah. But yeah, it got better this year because I got more like flexible jobs, so I can still financially support myself to the outings, and at the same time I can still focus on my studies without being too tired because of my student jobs. So yeah, all in all, I guess the college experience is gonna be super incredibly different for everybody, even though you go to the same school. Even though my school actually is super equal. Like how do you say this? Like l'égalité, je non, l'égalité est très visible. Is like equality is really visible. And the amount and the distance of the rich and the poor people in France is not as much as in Vietnam and in United States, for example. So we start at a good place, but still, it is still present, of course. So it can be sad, but well, it's life. That's not a good conclusion, but fuck, you get what I mean.